Okay, I think we're up and running here. Had a little bit of technical jiggle there, but I think we've got a stream running now. So, all right, so this afternoon we're going to build a scene. And in order to do so, we need a few characters. Basically, this scene is going to be it's looking from behind at a fence, and there'll be some props and stuff stacked in front of the fence and stuff, and 3 kids are going to be there. 2 of them peering over the fence, and 1 kind of in the middle, like looking through a slat in the fence. And this is not actually for an animation. This is for a still shot, because if I'm going to be doing streaming with Character Creator, for example, which is what you see on the screen here, it's not all that unusual to have somebody be buck naked on the screen. Now, it is just an animated character, but I'm not sure how YouTube will deal with that. So, I'm basically creating this scene with iClone in order to make an overlay that I can turn on the stream when I need to do a little, to load a new character and they're going to be in the buff. Is that overthinking this a bit or what? Can you tell I'm a dad now and not just some guy? So anyway, that's the objective here. I figured I got to have something that pops up that will do that. If you've watched different streams, there are streamers that have to do that for different reasons. Maybe there's some personal information that's going to be on the screen for a moment. That kind of thing. So I thought, well, why not have a little fun with it and get a little clever with it? So we're going to actually build that screen by constructing a scene in iClone and then taking a shot, and we'll use some alpha channel behind it. So we're going to do all that from the beginning. So I've already created one of the 3 kids. I'll show you her in a moment, but we're creating kid number 2 here. And it's going to be from this fella. Now, as you can tell, he doesn't look much like a kid at this point. Like, not at all. He is every bit a man. We're going to see what we can do to remedy that. So, we're going to mess around first with some sliders here. Okay, so we've got 2 sliders there, 1 for head. So we could just use that. That actually may work. So if we shrink his head all the way down and shrink the body slider all the way down. Yeah, that's a decent starting point. I know it doesn't look like it. He kind of looks more like he could use a sandwich or something now, right? But basically there's a few things that we have to adjust here, and one of which is the size. So that's just taking some of the, this guy, when he's full blown here, is quite buff. So we're trying to reduce some of that body mass to start with. I'm going to go ahead and remove, the skin has like an adult. He's got definition here and also some wrinkles. So we can adjust that on the materials tab. We'll do it first on the head. And this is remarkably easy. But you basically go to the mesh, which is in this case is the head. And we're going to go to the bump map or the normal map. And we're just going to dial its strength all the way down and watch what happens. A little bit of de-aging going on there. Now, the face isn't terribly important because all the characters are pretty much going to, the most you might see of their face is maybe like a little bit of profile. So if there are, age marks or lines on the face, the skin face, I'm not terribly concerned about that. And he is going to be more fully clothed than this. So anyway, so we do it for the head. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the body, which will help us right here. Yeah. And then the arms and legs are separate. So we'll do that for the arms and the leg. We're just going to watch and make sure it's actually working. And it is. It's looking good. Okay, now if this were a light-skinned character, there is a skin that you get with the, I think it's the Human Anatomy pack, that's actually of a baby. And so if it was a lighter skinned character, I would probably drag this over, and that takes care of, like, this skin seems to almost have the look of chest hair baked into it, or maybe that's just capillaries. But he's going to be clothed, and we're not going to see that kind of detail, so I'm not going to do it. If I bring the baby skin over, it's going to turn him light-skinned, and then I have to go about tinting the whole thing. I think it's just not worth the trouble to do that in this case. So, back to the morphs. If we go to full body, we look for one called baby. This is going to be where we really start making some movement in the right direction. There we go. All right, that definitely looks more like a kid. What else can we do? There's also a slider called body thin. We can up that just a little bit, make him lose a little bit of weight. I'm picturing these are like kids that you would see, well, back when kids actually hung out in backyards. It's some kids just hanging out in the backyard, looking over the neighbor's fence. So, yeah, that's the idea. So, body thin. Let me just check. I made some notes here so I remember to do everything. Got body thin. Got the mesh, bump map. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all we really need to do to this character. Again, we're only going to see him from behind. His face looks a little too mature, right? But we're not going to see his face, so that doesn't matter. Okay? So, and by the way, my webcam is cutting out. I apologize for that. It seems to happen when I'm doing certain stuff in Character Creator and sometimes in iClone. So for this moment, I'm going to go ahead and just make us full screen here and get rid of the camera. Okay. So we need to give this guy some hair. So let's take a look at some options we've got for hair. Okay, none of those really look right for him. It's the hair builder. The hair builder is more, it seems like, better oriented generally to female styles of hair. Here we go. I like this. Let's see what he looks like with some dreads. Oh, yeah. That looks really sharp. And you figure we're going to see him probably... I like using him on the right side so we can see the shape of his hair. That's really cool looking. Okay. That's a good hairstyle for him. So let's find him. I'm okay with these shorts, so let's just find him a good shirt. Maybe under men's casual. T-shirts tucked. Okay, that's like dress shirts. Here we go, t-shirts. Maybe this? I don't know. That looks more like something that I would wear. Not him. That would have been what I would have worn something like that. It's pretty bland. Maybe just a solid color. Yeah, that's it, right? That's a good color for him. Okay, maybe we can tweak it just a bit. I'm thinking maybe just a little bit darker. There we go. All right, and I think I'm going to have all 3 of the kids be barefoot. I think that works really good for this look, for this scenario. It's kind of hearkening back to an older time, but I don't think I ever wore shoes when I played outside when I was a kid. A little bit different world now, right? Okay, so that's really all we need to do for him now. We've sized him up, we've smoothed his skin, we've given him a good hairstyle and outfit. The face is something that if we needed some close-ups or, you know, anything to do with his face, or if we were going to see him closer, there's some adult-looking blemish to the skin that I would want to try to remedy. But for the purposes of this, I don't see the point. I think we're good. All right, so we go to custom and actor, character. All right, we named her Fence Girl. So we'll name him Fence Boy 1. And there we go. And I'll show you Fence Girl real quick. I think. I'm a little nervous here. Sometimes Character Creator, when you load somebody in, you know, it loads in a piece at a time. So we're just going to be safe here. This is why we're making this scene. Just so we don't flash anything inappropriate there. Okay, she's good to go. So yeah. And again, the face, it's kind of too sharp angled, I feel like. It should be a little rounder for a kid. But we're not going to see, we're going to see her, if he's on the right, she'll probably be on the left. And then one more kid is going to stand right in the middle and be looking through the fence. So this is the second kid. And now we need to do our third one. And basically we're going to grab an adult and turn them into a kid. So, who should we start with? This Caleb could be interesting. He kind of looks like a biker guy right now. You think we can get him looking like a young man? Let's find out. Is it loading? It is. Okay. See, this is a point where, to be safe, I would flash the image that we're constructing. Hey, Krantz. Sorry, just noticed you there. Hey, Phil. Thanks for stopping by, man. An offense girl, that's right. Yeah. I watch quite a bit of iClone videos from Freedom 3D. And he doesn't seem to care about that. He doesn't seem to care that much about it, but a lot at stake, so I don't want to... It would be such a... That would be like the stupidest thing to end up losing your channel over. Okay, so this is Caleb. Let me just look at what Krantz is talking about here. New streaming device coming out at the end of that from Google, huh? It's something that's supposed to compete with Amazon Fire and Roku and that kind of thing. That could be interesting. Especially if they price it right. What's their incentive for doing that, I wonder? I guess I'll bet you it comes with like a free trial of YouTube Premium or something like that. That would make it worthwhile. Those things are not expensive to make. And yeah, exactly. Exactly. Phil, about the anatomy part. It's tempting to like start up another channel with like another Gmail account or something and just try it and see what happens. But then it's like, is it even worth that much trouble? So it's really only an issue when live streaming, because if I accidentally flash during something pre-recorded, I can obviously just edit it out or blur it or whatever. Two most well-known novels in all French literature turned 180. Those are both great novels. Loved them. Yeah, is there a market for something like that, Phil? You know, that would be interesting. Teach those P-Hub people how to make Machinima for their audience. Okay. So we want to make this guy into a kid. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to get rid of his vest, because I don't think there's any scenario where he's going to be wearing that. And maybe the tank top will work. Tank top and jeans, and he doesn't need shoes either. All right, let's see what we can do here. So we check out the body morphs. There's not anything currently there, so I feel like we ought to create some. Head and body morph sliders. All right, there's a body slider. We should just leave him like that. All right, and one for the heed. Caleb Fence. All right. Yeah, he's that's a face a mother could love. Yeah, that is weathered. Let's see what we can do about that. If we go over here to the meshes, let's start with the head, dial down the normal map. Okay, that's better. Same thing for the body. Same thing for the arms. And the legs, which looks like we won't even see his legs. We'll just keep him in jeans, most likely. Okay. That's progress. We'll go here to full body, and we're going to search for baby. Okay. Let's make him real small. He'll be the little kid that's on the ground. He's not big enough to climb up with the other kids. So he's down low on the ground. He kind of looks like a little person, though. I wonder if I should do... I think I'm going to do that baby skin trick. We go here into skin. Yeah, me too. I haven't touched the Chromecast. I bought it years ago, and it was like it was fun to play with for a little while, but I haven't really found any practical or regular use for it. Let's try baby skin. Okay. That's a little better. He's a bit pale. And we got to redo the normal maps. You see all the wrinkliness there? So we don't need to do it on the head anymore, but we should on the body. Definitely the arms and legs. Just for good measure. Fighting layers in CC the other day. I've run into that from time to time where, like, it has to do, doesn't it have something to do with how whoever created the piece of clothing, which layer number they assigned it? And yeah, it's weird stuff sometimes that I'll throw a shirt on and it removes the person's pants or something. It's frustrating. And there is a way to fix that. I guess you have to kind of resave it the right way or something along those lines. It's been a while since I run into it, but I know what you're talking about, yeah. Okay. His head's still a little large for his body. Maybe his stance is what is weird, too. That's the world's tiniest bully from his stance. He's ready to throw down. Yeah, Corance, I saw that. I saw that trailer. Yeah, there's some issues for sure. I like Jack Black a lot, but you know, I'm just not sure that's a great fit. I guess we'll see. Yeah, phase 2. Okay. Where are we? First, let's thin him out, and then we'll see what we need to do about the heat. You can tell this scene is going to be set in the 80s because, yeah, most of the kids are beanpoles, unlike today. So that's my excuse for not having full representation of the weight and mass challenged. Even I was, see pictures of me when I was a kid. I don't know where that thinness came from. I don't know where it went, but I've lost it. I've lost it. Okay. Head scale? Okay, good. That's more like it. All right, let's find some hair for this guy. I don't get to use this one very often. I wonder how that's going to look on him. Man, that looks better on him than it does on any full-grown person, from what I've tried. That's going to work great. We're gonna lighten it up a bit. I'm going to assume he's been in the sun. Maybe sprayed a little peroxide in there. And lightened it up. That's another thing kids did back then. We actually got out in the sun quite a bit. All right, the eyebrows don't seem to match. Let's lighten those up just a bit too. and make them a little redder, perhaps. You can enter values beyond the slider limits. You're blowing my mind right now, man. Are you kidding? I had no idea. So you're talking about like on the morph sliders. See, we have to try this now. What's one we know we don't need? Okay, so the top of slacker is... Oh boy! I think we've just stumbled upon something here. This could work. This could work. All right, so slacker 100. That's the top, but if we keyed in 150. Wow, dude. I had no idea. Is that documented anywhere? How did you learn that? That's amazing. I've got some less realism emphasis projects on the horizon, and that is going to come in very handy. Because I think the way that I've been doing it before is you max it out and then you bake it and then have to do it again and stuff. I love the idea of being able to just throw it out there and not have to bake it in. Yeah, I agree, Corrance. I think hands down Andor is the best thing that came out of the Disney Star Wars collaboration. I've watched it a couple times. It's fantastic. I'm very excited about the... I think the next season is the final one, if I'm right. His head's just still a little bit too big now. That feels right. We're only going to see him from behind. So yeah, that's going to work just fine. Let's do a little something different with his clothes if it will let us. It's pretty dark, so let's adjust the actual texture. Oh, Mandalorian too. Yeah, I shouldn't discount Mandalorian at all, especially the first season. Yeah, absolutely. Second season was pretty good too, yeah. I think if I had to pick between them, I liked Andor a little more. But it's close. Let's put a little bit of color in this, huh? Thinking like kind of yellow, a little bit, a hint of yellow. Yeah. Nothing real flashy, but just a little better. And then how about the pants? Pants are pretty dark. We can lighten them up a little bit and then maybe splash in some color. Although, yeah. Now, we can give them just a little bit of extra color or something just a little abnormal. I like it. Yeah, right? Is it this? I think it comes down to that stance. It's like he's ready to. He's been trained. He knows jujitsu, and he could flip one of us right over. I'm betting he has to declare extra lunch money on his tax return. I think that's his primary source of income. All right. So we're going to save him as Fence Boy 2. Oh, we got pants selected. There we go. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to do in CC4? I don't think so. So now we can fire up iClone. I'm going to try the camera again, see if it'll not fritz out on me. There was a weird thing I ran into the other day, bringing in a pretty complex prop from Blender. And when I converted it to FBX and brought it into CC4, there was just a couple spots on the prop where there was texture Z-fighting that wasn't there in the original Blender file. So then I brought that FBX back into Blender, and the Z-fighting was there as well. So something was happening in the export from Blender to FBX, and I've ended up figuring it out after hunting online and stuff. Okay, but it was a weird one. Has something to do with the way that I'm not even gonna pretend that I'm smart enough to explain it, but it has something to do. You have to triangulate the part of the model that uses some form of modeling that's unique to Blender, that isn't common to the other platforms. And once I did that, it exported just fine. I'm going to do a separate tutorial on that, because when I went searching for it, I found a whole lot of people with the problem. So yeah, it can take a while to launch these for sure. Oh, I didn't need to hit new project. I'm already in a new project. Okay. So we're going to go and start with some props. No, actually, let's bring our people in first. That'll give us better reference. All right. So we got Fence Boy 1 we said was going to go on the right. We got Fence Girls going to go on the left. And Fence Boy 2 right in the middle. I don't think I ended up making him that much shorter than them, if at all. I guess he's a little shorter than the boy. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. You know what would be handy in CC4? And maybe it exists and I just don't know how to use it, but to be able to like pull up, you know how like in Microsoft Word, you can turn on a grid that shows you the inches and where the margins are placed and stuff. I wonder, is there something in CC4 that you can pull up the equivalent of a measuring stick to when you're doing sizing? Because I just basically guess when I have to do like change of height of a character or something. I get stuck on it sometimes because you can't, to my knowledge, you can't pull in two different characters at once. I guess I could build something, couldn't I? A prop. If it doesn't, if that's not an overlay in the program, I could just build a prop that is the right height. Okay, props. We made ourselves a fence. Let's see if we can find it. I'm not seeing my fence prop. What about pile of stumps. Alright, bear with me a second here. I have iClone on 2 computers, one at home and one here at my office. And I'm wondering if I designed those props at home and forgot to bring them here. If so, they will be here. I don't get it. I feel really confident that I did those here, because I think I did them on stream. Yeah, normally if I did something like that, I would have thrown it in Dropbox and it would just be here. But I'm remembering when I made those, and I made those props on stream. So why aren't they here? Okay, there was a fence, there was a tire. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. What's going on? What did I do? Oh, wait a minute. Successfully import. Did I need to drill down so they'll load in here somehow? Huh. Okay, I know that I put some in a folder called Outdoor Decor. There it is. Why wasn't that turning up in search? Oakley dokley. There's our fence. We put some other stuff in outdoor here as well. Let's just search the old-fashioned way with our peepers. There we go. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. And it doesn't look like there's a way to like tell it to refresh, which would make it go re-index, although with the amount of stuff I've built up, that would probably take quite a while to complete. Alright, so there's those. Some, I believe, I just put under props. You figure they're gonna be ones without that gray background, or without the light gray solid background. Well, this is frustrating. I didn't want to eat up time hunting around for stuff. But we gotta do what we gotta do. I didn't put anything under cars. Or office, I don't think. These are all outdoor things. Okay. City roads. None of those are ringing a bell. Did I accidentally save them under one of these? No. Sync installed assets. All right, we'll try that. Oh, but that's... I would have to... Okay, I gotta choose a different... I'm not sure that's the right thing. Let's do this. Let's go to the actual folder. And let's see, one was called tire. Go under Reillusion Custom. Pretty sure I named that big tire a tire. Surely I didn't go through the process of importing those and forget to save them. That would be embarrassing. Yeah, I spell it with tire, with an I. Yeah, I'm getting nothing. I didn't even keep a list of them because I just thought, well, they're all going to be right where I look, so... Goofy, goofy, goofy. Model 0? I don't know what that is. Some junk I left in there. Maybe I called it a wheel. Maybe I called it a wheel because it does have the center in it. Oh, yeah. I should have put tire in the name, shouldn't I? I could call it a big wheel tire. No, I don't think I saved a project. Because it was all in CC4, and I just one after the other, create it, save it, and then delete it, move on to the next one. So I don't think they're in a project. I don't find myself saving CC4 projects very often. Not for prop stuff anyway. But anyway, that's the tire. I mean, these are the main things. Oh, let me see. I probably still have the models, the list of the models themselves. They're probably still in that folder. So I could check that. Did I? Come on, dude. What did I do? All right, somewhere I would have saved a credits file. Unfortunately, there's going to be like 20 of these scattered around, but maybe the path will clue me in. Apologies for this delay. When was that stream? It was just a few days ago. Ah. There we go. All right, so we had a lumber stack. We've already got that. We've got suitcase. That's not for this project. Exit signs not. Wheel. Crates. Wooden crate. That's the only other thing. All the others are for different projects. Okay. That's right, because there were two different types of crates. One of them had the slat missing and one didn't. Perfect. Okay. So let's just get these in here. All right, now we need... Let's go ahead and bring a floor in. Those are under props as well. Oh, but they're under regular. Props, and where's floors? Well, you know what? I can do a texture later. So we'll just bring in a floor. We're going to change this. We'll change the material on this later to something grassy. Okay. Okay. So we want our floor to line up kind of like so. Okay. The fence is going to be right on that line, or pretty much right on that line. So we will control click. That doesn't look like it's lined up. It must be at a little bit of a tilt or something. That's okay. So crates. There's a guy that worked for my dad's company when I worked for my dad. And he really would mispronounce words. Like a lot. And so I called him Socrates. We were good friends. It was all in jest and in fun. But I would call him Socrates. And to this day, that was like 20 years ago. To this day, I run into him from time to time. He'll always be, "What's up, Socrates?" Which I think originally is from Bill and Ted, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So, what we want to do here is kind of position this stuff in front of the fence. So the person on that side is going to be standing on the wood pile. And we may have more stuff than we need here, but that's okay. All right, so this kid, let's get him in position here. He's going to be right in the middle there and looking through the fence. And this gal is going to be here. course, fine-tune her feet later as we need to, but we'll just get her close for now and spin her around. We'll have her kind of turned a little bit. And then I think this guy we may have on a stack of tires. You know, two, maybe 3 tires up. But we'll use the stumps or a combination of them in the crates or something to kind of show how he climbed up there. Maybe do the same on her side. Oh, thank you. This is a, I think it's like a photogrammetry scan. I got it from Sketchfab, and I really liked the way it turned out too. A lot of those photogrammetry models, they're pretty messy, but this one was really well done. He cleaned it up all around the edges and stuff. Pretty nice. All right. And of course, we don't want them perfectly even. I'm going to make that one a tad smaller. It'd be like a different size of tire. And then let's rotate the top 2 just a bit, just so they're not showing exactly the same piece of tread. Okay. Let's see how he looks there. Yeah, you're talking about photogrammetry. I've not tried that myself either. There's some apps out there that apparently you can that'll do it for little to no cost. But yeah, so far I've been able to find what I need from folks already doing that, so. Okay, let's just get an idea of our framing here. So we figure we want it to kind of cover most of the screen, right? And he's going to be hunched over so his head won't get cut off, I think, and she'll be leaning on the fence a little bit too. And then there'll be a little bit of bleed through the fence, which I think is okay. I think with the combination of that it's cartoonish characters, not photorealistic, I think it'll be enough obscurity. Yeah, basically this is going to be, I'm designing this purely for the stream's use, for those CC4 moments when it might get a little too risque for YouTube, that, you know, sometimes people will just pop something up or they'll blur the whole screen or whatever. And I just thought, well, why not just make something with the tools that I use? So this is going to pop up, but that'll all the alpha channel will be wherever there's no props. So it'll be partially visible. The screen will still be partially visible, but I should be able to use it to cover up a little bit. And there's slats in it and stuff. So, but yeah, I think that'll work well. It would be fun. I'm going to keep this project too, because it would be it might be interesting to do some kind of a looped animation of it, because you can do that with OBS. You have to convert the video in a very specific way and convert it, I think, to WebM format, and that way you get your transparency, and then it could loop with a little bit of motion. I don't know if it's worth that trouble or not, but for now it's just going to be a still image. Let's go ahead and create us a camera at this spot because I like it. We'll lock it right there. Okay. Whoop. So let's grab us some stumps and see how we can incorporate those. Actually, I want to see our little window there. Okay, so they're not even going to be visible there unless I back up. And I think they'll be confusing in the foreground here. So maybe I won't even use these this time. Because I think that distance that we've got on the camera, I think that's right. We could try backing it up. You know what? It is better a little wider. Yeah, that gives us a little bit more room for those and a little bit more room for some clutter over here. We can put some grass here in the foreground and stuff. Yeah, I like that better. Be right back. As the guy in the movie Airplane, I have a bit of a drinking problem. Okay. All right. Back to this now. So we can move this. We need to twist it, I think. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then crates. We take one and turn it on its side. Bring it up. this one like so. I think it works just fine. I got to introduce that movie this summer to my son, who's sophomore in college now. He hadn't seen it somehow. And he said, I feel like I understand you a little better now. Having seen the style of humor in that. It felt good. And then, of course, it was a Naked Gun marathon after that, so. Yeah. Yeah. Like the next, we watched that and then a Naked Gun movie each night. And he wasn't interested in getting on Steam for those nights. That was my indicator that he'd rather watch those than play Helldivers or whatever at the time. So yeah, it was a win. Okay. That's our major props in place. Let's do something about this ground. We're going to throw in some shrubbery, grass, and then we're going to be thinking about some light. And I'll probably save posing them for last. What time we got? 5:07. Still got an hour. Good. Safety save. And let's use call it The Fence. Sounds like a Guy Ritchie movie. Okay, cool. Thanks for hanging with me, man. Okay. Yeah, let's do something about this floor. We need some materials. So, media, material. Or is it material plus? No. Just material. And PBR. All right, so we want something. Ideally, we want a grassy surface. I feel like I need to up my materials collection. Although I guess we can do these. Okay. So we need to scale some stuff here, I believe. Because that just looks crazy. Alright, let's try a 4x4 tile. That's better. It's got a lot of bluish in it, and red. So we want to kind of tint it a little bit more in the green direction. And see if we can darken it up just a little bit. Yeah. That's good. Okay. Props. And where are those wonderful, wonderful plants? I can never remember where those are. Is it part of set? Ah, yeah. Trees, grass. Okay. Yeah, I think this one's going to work best. Okay. So we've got one in here. And we want to start gardening. I'm going to do up on the size a little bit. And a little bit more density. Dimension, height, width. We'll up the variation. And start color a little bit darker. All right, let's zoom out a bit. Yeah, I ended up finding something that'll get me by here. Under the materials, there was a section called... Oh, under the nature terrain generator, there's some... These materials, which I'll be honest, I don't know what this little symbol by them means. Maybe that's just because they're part of the nature terrain generator. There's probably some special ability that you have with these. This is a read the friggin' manual thing for me. I don't know yet, but there's a decent variety of stuff in here. I've not done an extensive amount of outdoor scenes yet, so once I do, I'll probably be probing the limits of what I can get out of these. But there seems like there's a lot to choose from here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make this a lawn that's in need of some attention, I think. All right, and let's mix in a little bit of dry grass around, like close to the stuff. Like that looks pretty good, I think. Wilted grass. Wow, that's really big. Oh, no, maybe it's not. No, it's not too bad. can't reposition these, I guess. Not with the thingy. Well, doggone it. What if I don't like it? I assume I'm doing this right. That you have to position one and then you can do the gardening thing. All right, how about we focus on what's actually going to be visible in the shot, Phil? Let's do that, huh? This fill, not that fill. Okay, that's shorter. That's good. Scene, wilted grass. Just to add a little bit of flavor in there. I'm not sure that this is even visible though. I guess it is somewhat. Should make it taller. Anything else that needs? I suppose I could sprinkle a flower in there or something. This almost looks like baby's breath or something. Right here in this patch. Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little more height. Oh, that works nice. Kind of almost a border. Yeah, see, like one of the if I did this as a video later, I could apply some wind, and if nothing else, that would be the motion going on. I think it could look pretty sharp. Okay, so let's get back down to lower height. And then one more variation here, something with a little bit more color to it. Like maybe these purple ones. I'm thinking something right here in the foreground. Maybe like so. Yeah, frankly, as little of that ground texture that shows through the better, I think. It's not great. A triffid. Explain, sir. I'm not sure what a triffid is. I've tried the mushrooms in another scene. I really don't like them. They're obnoxious. They don't seem to blend like some of this other stuff does. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I like how this kind of functions as a border on the left and that the stubs a little bit do so on the right. It's got a pretty good balance to it. Probably I need to move this kid over just a little bit. I don't know if... I don't need exact symmetry, I guess. Yeah, that just feels a little better. So I think it's time to think about some lights. Yeah, so let's save what we got so far. Let's try and drink without damaging anything. Oh, a man-eating planet. Yeah. Aren't they all, though? Okay. Yeah, we'll come back and pose these guys. But first, let's just mess with our lighting. And I think on the lighting, I mean, this isn't going to need something super special, really. It's really a matter of, because there's no sky, so we just need to have a, you know, outdoor lit appearance. So I'm going to turn these other ones off just to see what the impact of this one light is. All right. Why doesn't that want to move? Am I missing something? Because I've got the wrong one selected. Brilliant. Okay. So I'm kind of picturing that the light is coming from behind them. And it should have a little bit of a daylightish color to it, I think. Yeah, not too much. I want to see our actual shot here. Alright, so that side light's coming from over there. And it's blue. it's not helpful that it's casting a shadow, is it? Okay, so let's think about, really it's about lighting them up. The effect on the props to me is secondary. Oh, man-eating plant. Like Little Shop of Horrors kind of thing. So I think I'm going to use this light to focus on defining his side of his face. Because it's going to have to stand out against really any background. Mostly dark background, I think, but... So yeah, that light will be about his face. And it doesn't need to be quite so blue. But the brighter the better, I think. Alright, and then we're going to use this light see, backlight is helpful too, isn't it? We don't need shadows on that. Why is that coming off so intense? Doesn't seem like it's that bright in the settings, but it really washes her out. But something else is kind of washing her out as well. Maybe it's this one that's too intense. Or are we just getting that because her skin is so light? No, that's the one doing it. Okay, so we've just got too much intensity coming off of this light. I suppose if we wanted to isolate their lighting, we could do some spots or some little point lights. Because I really like the effect this light's having on him, but then when we bring all these around, it just washes her out a little too much. I mean, she looks right without any of those extra lights on. Except that I would want to do a spot here. I'm going to try this with spots. I'm going to try it with spots. Okay, so create light, spotlight, and we'll do her first. Okay. That's the right idea. I'd like to narrow its focus. So we bring the range down. That's good. A little bit less of an angle. And then dial back the intensity, or the multiplier. Okay. How are we looking? Yeah, the line of her face is now better defined, I think. Now, this is really stupid of me, I just realized. Because I haven't posed her yet. I could attach the light to her head, I guess, but nah, I'll just manually move it when the time comes. So this is girl spotlight. And then let's create one for this guy. And same thing here. I shouldn't worry too much about the exact positioning, because we're going to move them. So actually, let's not even do anything more with that at this point. Guy spotlight. This guy doesn't need any help here. He's good. So we're going to save. And let's do a little posing. So I sincerely doubt that there is a pose that is right for this guy in the library. This is pretty particular. So we're just going to try and do it. We're doing it live! Going to try and do it manually. So we got him selected. We can close this. And edit the motion layer. All right. So what he needs to do is lean forward a bit. But then head back a bit. And maybe head turn to the side a bit, because he's looking through with one eye. And so we'll assume he's left-handed. He's looking through with his left eye. And then he's going to have his hands kind of up, I guess, to kind of block the sun. Okay. A Pharrell Williams movie? Like, do you mean one that... wow, that's really confusing. I don't think I've ever heard Pharrell Williams and Lego in the same paragraph, ever. Piece by piece. Is he doing the soundtrack? Is that what you mean by it, that it's a Pharrell Williams movie? Because he's mainly he's a music guy, right? He's not. I don't think he acts. Maybe he builds Legos, and I don't know. All right, we want to mirror pose left to right here, I think, at least to start. And then we're going to try and bring the old arms forward. Huh. Oh. Okay, so you... That's not a real-time thing. That's something you apply after, so that's fine. All right, so the hand is going to kind of come up and over, basically like he's blocking the sun. He's shading his eyes so he can see through better. That's the idea. So if we open up his fingers a little more, I mean, that's all we're going to see of it. Probably twist the wrist a little bit locally. Yeah. Something like that. So, all right, so we've done this on the left side of his body, and we want to mirror it on the right. So if we pose mirror right to left. Oh, I'm confused. Okay. Oh, hold on. Which one is left and which one's right? Yeah, that's for the blooper reel there. All right. It's a documentary about Pharrell Williams, produced by Lego. It's from the guy that directed the Mr. Rogers documentary. That got a lot of positive attention, didn't it, that documentary? But how much of that is just Mr. Rogers is just a really good dude? And I don't know. Not disrespecting Pharrell at all, but I just... Let's just say, in fairness, that's not really what he's known for. So, yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's a good look. You know, this is... It's funny, I didn't intend this, but from behind, the gender of this one is not really apparent at all, is it? It's a boy, or it could be a tomgirl. It doesn't really matter. And it doesn't matter for the purpose of the shot either. Okay, so let's edit the motion layer again. I doubt anyone would notice these fingers in the fence, but I will know. And I will lose sleep over it. So, let's see how we can fix that. And same thing here, a little bit of twist, and a little bit of this. And just for the sake of minutiae, let's have him actually grip the fence. Why not? All right. He might just want to be on Lego Masters. Is that basically the Lego game show where they compete for builds, hosted by it's stupid, I can't remember his name, but the guy from Arrested Development. Yeah, I watched. I think we watched the whole first season of that. I haven't kept up with it after that, but it's pretty entertaining actually. Growing up with Legos, and then growing up, and my son was really into them as well. So, still is. He just built a TIE Interceptor last weekend, over Labor Day weekend. Okay, so this guy's in good shape. We'll go ahead and save. Let's take preview. Okay. Let's take care of our young lady here. Oh, wait a minute. Should we do something a little unusual with his leg? Nah, I'm not inspired. I don't know what to do. Okay, So she's going to kind of lean on the fence. Amputate. That's true. For full representation, there needs to be at least one amputee in this picture. All right, so we're going to do we're going to do local rotate. Let's have her kind of be leaning as well, and maybe like resting resting an elbow doesn't make sense at that distance, so I'm thinking she's going to be gripping the fence. We may have to slide her feet a little forward to make that happen, but let's try it. So let's see here. I think we want a local move. I'm uncertain. Okay, that seems to be working okay. All right, so that hand is going to have no trouble reaching it very naturally. How about the other one? Oh, yeah. That's no problem at all. All right, so let's get in close here. And like so. And rotate like so. It's not quite resting, is it? I sincerely doubt that that difference is going to be at that distance, that that's going to be noticeable, but why not get it right? That's clipping a little bit there. Okay. And then, so we have to think about how this is going to be visible from here. So maybe the other hand is on this post here. She's kind of using it to steady herself a little bit. So let's bring this one over here, like so. And back, and down. And then we turn it like so. We don't need to worry about the fingers on this hand, as they will definitely not be visible. I doubt the thumb will be visible either, but just for good measure. Yeah, that's definitely not going to be visible. All right, let's see it from our camera's point of view. Yeah, we'll know. Okay, the placement's good, but her elbow looks a little wonky there. That doesn't look natural. So to place the elbow or rotate the shoulder, I'm not sure, but I think we can just move the elbow. Oh, she's moving. She's kind of crouching a little bit. Maybe that's okay. That actually might save us some trouble. Yeah, that looks much better with her crouching like that. Okay. And then how's the hand? Looking good. Okay. How are we looking from our angle? It looks like her hand's... Yeah, I know. Even as I said it, it occurred to me. Oh, yeah, she crouched. I'll tell you an area that I'm not at all strong in is understanding when it makes sense to attach things to things. Like, I can handle holding a prop. I've done situations where there's a prop sitting somewhere, like a drink, and someone has to pick it up and come away, and so you have the extra copies of it, right? One of them's always in their hand, and you switch them. It just, you know, you switch the visibility. That I got, but when it's, you know, like a person, should I have her be gripping this? Like, somehow attach her hand? I don't know. I don't see how it works because the prop is so big, and we're wanting to attach it to just this specific piece. It's an area that I'm not very educated in. Okay, and over here, I like the angle, but there's like a little bit of light glinting off of this hand, and it looks weird. So we're just going to turn it and hope that solves that. Oops, camera. Okay. Oh, of course. Right on. Yeah. Which I have not developed the habit or the eyes for. I read the article that Warlord published just the other day, kind of reminding about all the different uses for the dummy objects, and man, it's something that I've neglected. So I need to pay more attention to that, because I have a feeling, like the one he mentioned was position some at key points in the scene that you need to jump around between, instead of the endless mouse scroll thing, which is what I do. Yeah, that's very smart to make better use of those. Okay, I'm going to turn her from behind. It kind of looks like she's just got stubs, right? You can't really... That doesn't look like a hand there. So it's going to bug me. So I'm going to basically reposition her hand so it's more like this. And I may do that with the other as well. It just looks awkward there because of our angle, I think. So if we take this wrist and let's just... No, not that way. Bend it up a little bit. And then I better make sure I know what I'm doing here. Bring it down a little bit. And angle it up a little bit. And around. And bring it down. Is that the right idea? I can fix her fingers here in a minute. Let's make sure that that's the right... Yeah! Now it looks like a hand. Okay, and I need to do something over there too, but let's go ahead and take care of some fingers here. Create a dummy for each hand, foot, etc. Very cool. I've got some stuff coming up where I'm going to have to do a little bit more interactive animations and such, and working with implements and all that, climbing things. So I've got the way I've been approaching this is I've carefully selected what I'm going to work on based on what I know, and meanwhile on the side am continuing to, you know, watch videos and read the manual and experiment and all that stuff, because starting out, even though I've had experience in other platforms, but just, man, oh man, so much to learn. It's a really, and I don't say this to its detriment at all, it's a complicated tool and very powerful. So yeah, that's an area that I definitely will have to work on if I'm gonna do some more ambitious stuff. Okay, that is looking nice. I hope it still looks like a hand from back there. Let's see. Oh, nice. So basically, so the reach target wasn't the actual person. It was a dummy that was... Now, is the dummy attached to the person, or is it just free floating and you keyframe that? This hand looks good. Doesn't look as good up close. Although I guess that's all right. A little bit warped, but you can't tell that from behind, so... All right, so we're going to kind of do the same thing here, I think. We're going to take this hand and move it back and down. We're not making a crouch again, are we? No, good. And then rotate, or yeah. We could even have her grip this on the side. That might work really good. Okay. How we looking? Thumb looks a little weird, doesn't it? Up close it looks really natural. But we will we'll just rotate it around, I guess. Maybe just a little more. Okay. And I think her feet are all right. Yeah. All right, so let's do this guy. All right, so first of all, let's position his feet. So we're going to have him kind of standing at a bit of a wide stance. He's kind of standing on the tire here with his feet a little bit more apart. And like so. And I think I want to see if we can let him crouch a little bit. Yeah. It's a little bit more natural a stance. And then we'll get him to bend forward a little bit. And I think I want to have him, just for the sake of variety, maybe have him leaning with his elbows or like his forearms on the fence. So let's bring his arm. Whoop, that doesn't look right. Do we need world rotate? All right, let's do it by positioning the hands. Maybe he needs to be leaning forward just a little more. And maybe he needs to be forward a little more. As such, okay. So I want it to actually be resting there. So does he need to lean forward just a tad more? All right, and up just a bit. And rotate just a bit. Okay, and how about this hand? I need a little ambient light, please. There we go. Okay, so we bring this out just a tad. That puts us in contact with it, which is good. And then we'll just rotate this hand down. He's just kind of hanging loose. Checking out the fence. Let's see what we look like. I like it. It looks really cool that he's kind of standing just a little bit crooked. Okay. Heads. I want to see if it makes sense to have the heads angled in just a little bit more. Yes. Same thing for her. That is perfect. So let's reposition our lights. We can turn off the ambient now. Let's reposition our spotlights here. Okay, so down and over and up. It's a little bit too bright or too close. I think that looks good. Yeah, gives her a little more face definition. We do the same thing for this guy. As I'm constructing this, for some reason I'm hearing the old Little Rascals theme. It's kind of the atmosphere. Maybe not quite that far back in time, but this is to slightly different bygone era, so to speak. How we looking? Let's hide those lights. Get ourselves a proper look here. All right, his spotlight is probably a little too bright. Let's bring it down just a bit. Let's bring it down just a bit more. And maybe a bit more. Okay. So yeah, if you could picture it, this is going to go... Oh, first, sorry. I think we should line up the edge of the ground a little bit better with the edge of the fence. I mean, that's pretty good. Actually, yeah. So if we select the ground, So this is the y-axis. Oh, I'm not sure which way is... I'm probably moving it the wrong direction. That looks really good. I'm really, really, really happy with that. Except, there's always something. Is I feel like this light is a little bit too white. And maybe a tad too bright. Okay. That is perfect. Let's save it. We will render it, and we've got ourselves... I'm hoping to make use of this on the next stream when we have to, you know, have somebody in Character Creator 4 that needs a little bit of modesty cover. So thanks for joining me. Great pleasure to have Phil Brown here, who I could learn a thing or two from on iClone for sure. If you haven't seen his work, check it out. He's in the chat. You should be able to just click on his name there, and it'll open up his YouTube page. He's done some terrific iClone work for many, many years. And good to have you here. Korance, thanks for coming by again. You are a fountain of trivia, as usual, and I appreciate it. You bring interesting stuff to talk about, so thank you. And we'll see you at the next stream. Hey, my webcam is is completely blacked out. That's, I wonder how long that's been going on. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.